All right, let us resume. More Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Justice for All, case number 2, Reunion and Turnabout. Here we go. June 21st, 9:48 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. What? Prosecutor Von Karma? You mean... No, I heard it's his successor this time. Successor? Manfred Von Karma was a really sinister man. He pulled all sorts of nasty tricks, all so he could win. He was a man obsessed with perfection. He used to say, "I've got to get all the pieces in before the game pops up." He had a perfect record for 40 long years. Who knows what sorts of dirty tricks he used to get each of those guilty verdicts. And now his successor. I wonder what kind of person they will turn out to be. It's no good. Mystic Maya, who's... Oh, Pearly. Mystic Maya. You showed up. Thanks for coming all this way. I was really worried about you. I gotta do 2 girl voices, so I gotta do her as like a really, really little kid. Hey, where's your mother? Didn't you 2 come together? Mother is watching over the trainees. She said they have training for 2 days straight with no breaks. Huh? Then, you came all by yourself? Yep, I snuck out of the manor and followed a map. Don't tell me you walked all the way here. Of course not. I ran. I ran so far away. I can't... Oh my. If it takes 2 hours by train... Oh man. Oh God, oh man. Oh God, oh man, oh God! Pearly, what about the train? Huh? What's a train? I give up. It's time, isn't it? I'm really scared. What if Von Karma tries to do something to me? At least I know Mr. Edgeworth would be nicer to me than Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth? Who is that? He's Nick's rival. Well, he's also a friend. Objection! I still remember him as though I'd seen him only yesterday. Objection! Every trial was a scorchingly fierce battle until the very end. Objection! Objection! It was always back and forth with them. But when you're rivals for life... Maya! Please don't mention that name ever again. Huh? But why, Nick? I'm sorry, Maya. I forgot, you don't know. See, you weren't here for case number 5. It was this really ridiculously long case. It's like half the fucking game. Anyway, it's a long story, but the point is he's gone. And he's not coming back. That's the long and short of it. What? Well, wait a second. What's that supposed to mean? Court will commence shortly. Please proceed into the courtroom. Let's go. Now's not the time to talk about that anyway. Nick? June 21st, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 2. Robble, clack. Court is now in session for the trial of Maya Fey. Are the prosecution and defense prepared? What's with this kid? Ahem, Mr. Wright, are you prepared? Huh? Yes, Your Honor. Why does he always seem mad at me? Mr. Phoenix Wright. You must be a little shocked because I am a woman, correct? Gonna do the Baroness from G.I. Joe as well as I can, anyway. Hold on, so she's the famed successor to Prosecutor Von Karma? I am Franziska Von Karma, the prodigy. I see. I gave up a promising career in Germany and came to this country for one sole reason. Revenge. Revenge? Is this about her father, Manfred Von Karma? If it's something of a personal nature, I'm sure you can... Yow! I'm talking. If you interrupt again, my whip will do the speaking for me. Please speak with your mouth like a normal person. I beg you. Yow! Make no mistake, I will defeat you. Prepare to go down, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I will refrain from making the obvious joke there. Clack. Prosecutor Von Karma, your opening statement, please. Those of Von Karma blood have only one fate, and that is perfection. See, you need to get the pieces in before the game pops up. The defendant, Maya Fey, will find no escape from her guilt on my watch. Very well. What is the defense's position? Your Honor. Does the defense wish to enter a plea of not guilty? Yes. Foolish fool who foolishly dreams of foolish dreams. 10 minutes. I give the defense 10 minutes before it changes its plea. That's right. I'll have you running for the justified self-defense plea in no time. Justified self-defense? A plea usually reserved for when a person unintentionally kills in defense of themselves. We could very easily make a solid case that it was self-defense, but the defense stands by the plea of not guilty, Your Honor, because to plead justified self-defense is to say you did kill someone. How foolish. If that's how you want to play it, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then I shall now call the first witness. She's just as scary as her father. Like father, like daughter, I suppose. Witness your name and occupation. Yes, sir. The name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective at the local precinct. Get to the point already. Explain to the court the details of this murder. Yes, sir. If everyone would please look at this map. The channeling chamber has no windows, and the door was locked shut. At the time of the murder, only the victim and the defendant were in the room. What were they doing in there? They were channeling a spirit, sir. Channeling a spirit? That's quite the look of disbelief there, Your Honor. Anyway, a few minutes after the channeling started, gunshots were heard coming from inside the room, sir. A few of the witnesses broke the door down and rushed into the room. So that's when they found that the victim was already dead, correct? I believe this is one of the most open and shut cases I have ever presided over. Guilty! Floor plans added to the court record. So how was the victim killed? I was about to get to that. Stop wasting my time, then. Witness testimony. Cause of death. The direct cause of death was a pistol shot to the forehead, sir. The shot was fired from point-blank range. But before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. The murderer used the pistol to finish the victim off after the stabbing. God, that guy's voice is rough on my throat. So the victim was stabbed before being shot. This is the victim's autopsy report, sir. Autopsy report added to the court record. The court accepts it into evidence. Mr. Wright, you may question the witness. Cross-examination. The direct cause of death was a pistol shot to the forehead, sir. Hold it. The murder weapon, Detective Gumshoe. Whose pistol was it? It was the victim's. The victim? Now why would he have... Objection! Why would he have a pistol? Who cares? The point that you are missing is whose fingerprints are on that pistol. If you're not already paying attention to that, then I suggest you start. Fingerprints? There were fingerprints? Along with the victims, the defendant, Maya Faze, were also on the grip, sir. Rubble, 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 rubble. Clack. So the defendant's fingerprints were left on the murder weapon. Ugh. Walked right into her hands there. The shot was fired from point-blank range. Hold it. Point-blank, huh? So about how far away is that? It's anywhere between 12 and 20 inches away. And how do you know he was shot at point-blank? Mr. Phoenix writes, I grow tired of your foolish foolery, of the foolish fools of this foolish country. Excuse me? Princess? Gunpowder burn. Gunpowder burn. When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Gunpowder exploding is what makes a bullet fire, and that gets real hot, pal. And there were definitely some gunpowder burns left on the victim's forehead. Wow, never knew that. Live and learn, I guess. But before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. Hold it. You're going too fast. Slow down. Stabbed? What was he stabbed with? A fruit knife. I see. And whose knife was it? It looks like it belongs to the face, sir. And of course, Maya Faye's fingerprints are all over it. All over it, huh? Ugh. This does not look good. Ha ha ha. What will you do now, Mr. Phoenix writes? The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause death, not enough to cause instantaneous death. How severe was the wound? If it had been half an inch more to the right, it would have hit the victim's heart. After a stab like that, it's impossible to fight back, let alone stand. This testimony makes it sound like Maya had stabbed him with the intent to kill. Am I the baddie here? The murderer used the pistol to finish the victim off after the stabbing. We're on the last statement already. Is there anything here I should be presenting? Diagram of the channeling chamber. Stabbed in the chest and shot at point blank. Gunpowder residue. Okay. Okay, there's this thing. Bullet hole. This will come into the case eventually, but it's too early because that hole is very far away from the actual murderer, and there's really nothing connecting it to what we're talking about right now. And the rest of this is just not really relevant at the time. So I guess hold it. Are you sure he was stabbed first, then shot? Yup. Sure as sure can be. Can't catch me. One look at the wounds and you'd come to the same conclusion too, pal. A fool is a fool who will only listen to the foolish opinions of other foolish fools. A pistol shot to the forehead at point blank is certainly enough to kill instantly. Does it matter then which was first? Think a little more before you open that big mouth of yours, Mr. Phoenix writes. Ugh, what a pain. Clack. That's enough. Guilty. We have clearly established how the victim was murdered. I brought the two murder weapons with me today. Very well. The court accepts them into evidence. Pistol added to the court record. Knife added to the court record. The date and time of death was June 19th at 3:15 p.m. Eyewitnesses claim to have heard 2 gunshots at this time. 2 gunshots? And 2 murder weapons, both with the defendant's fingerprints on them, huh? This does seem like an open and shut case. Guilty! Naturally. This is going from bad to worse. As if the summary just now wasn't oversimplifying things to the extreme. Your Honor, feel free to slam that little gavel of yours. After all, there is no room left for doubt, is there? That is quite true, Mr. Wright. Yes? Even in the face of all this, do you still wish to plead not guilty? It's the option, or it's the opinion of this court that if you do not adjust your plea, you stand to lose. See, just as I promised, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You would change your plea in less than 10 minutes. What will you do, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Will you change to justified self-defense? Because now would be a good time to do so. This is your final chance. This is a huge decision. I'd better think this through all the way. I'm gonna dig my heels in. If we plead justified self-defense, we would basically be confessing to murder. No, that's not how justified self-defense works. What kind of justice system is this? After the trial, Maya's life would be ruined and she'd be labeled a murderer. I can't let that happen. Your Honor, have you reached a conclusion, Mr. Wright? The defense will not change its plea. We will accept nothing short of complete acquittal. You have sealed your fate, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Detective? Yes, sir. Present the final portion of your testimony, the final strike. Yes, sir. Now, see here. Proceedings are run by... Eek! Oh, yes, of course. Go ahead, detective, and give your testimony. I think the court would like to hear about the other piece of incriminating evidence. Great. Why am I just now hearing of this? Sorry, pal, but there's an even more incriminating piece of evidence. This is the costume the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. As you can see, it's covered in blood. The defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. So this is the costume. There certainly is evidence of a back spray of blood on this. This piece directly links Maya Fey to the crime, sir. I see. The court accepts this into evidence. Maya's costume added to the court record. Oh, all right, Mr. Wright. Maya's fingerprints on both murder weapons and blood splatters on her clothes. Could this situation get any worse? Ha! What's wrong? You seem to be at a loss. I think this is the last piece of testimony the prosecution should have to offer. Feel free to sulk off with your tail between your legs, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Please stop calling me by my full name. It's disturbing. Okay, cross-examination time. Sorry, pal, but there's an even more incriminating piece of evidence. Hold it. Why didn't you say so in your testimony earlier? You're kind of scary today, you know, pal. Come now, Mr. Wright. There is no need for that kind of attitude in my court. All right, just please stop glaring at me like that. This is the costume the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. Hold it. Maya's costume? Yeah, she was wearing this when we arrested her. Maya, she's wearing her channeling costume today, too. Is she not allowed to wear anything else? As you can see, it's covered in blood. Hold it! This blood on the costume. Lab results show that it is the victim's blood. Rubble, 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 clack. So there is blood from the victim on the defendant's clothes. Definitely not good. So, were there any other clues you could glean from this piece of evidence? Well... Objection. If you must change the topic, then the good detective here must testify again. But too bad. Not enough time. Let's move on. Yes, Miss Von Karma is perfectly correct. Ugh. Now even the judge is on her side. But if I bite off more than I can chew here, what should I do? We're gonna press. Why is Miss Von Karma suddenly putting up resistance? There must be a reason as to why she suddenly threw out an objection like that. There must be something about this costume. Just have to look harder. Mr. Wright, Miss Von Karma's logic is perfect. There is no way for you to poke a hole in it. Shut up. Oh, looks like my time is up. So about the costume. There is one little thing. Your Honor, actually, there is something very wrong with this piece of evidence. What? What are you talking about, pal? Where is this problem you are talking about? And I'm getting the voices mixed up again. I've come this far. There's no turning back now. The problem I have with this piece of evidence is here. There's a bullet hole right there. Take that! I ask the court to please take a look at the sleeve of this costume. The sleeve? There's a tiny hole here. A hole? But that wasn't in the report. Hold on. What's this around the hole? It smells faintly of gunpowder. Gunpowder? No one ever told me. A hole that smells of gunpowder. Looks like I've found the hole I was looking for. Your Honor, the only logical conclusion you can make is that it must be a bullet hole. Rubble, 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 rubble. Clack, 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 clack. Order, order, order! This is a very grave matter. It's best we correct the court record first before anything else. Why is costume updated in the court record? Sorry about that. I guess we messed up, sir. Is she actually smiling? What else is she hiding? Pull yourself together, detective. That tiny hole doesn't change a thing. The strength of the evidence still holds. Continue with your testimony. That just now was a fluke, nothing more. Objection. You're losing your accent there, lady. How can you say something like that? This is a huge oversight. While I agree it is a mistake on the part of the police, what Prosecutor Von Karma has said is true. The evidence still stands. If you do not find a more definitive problem with the evidence, then... no way. Yes way. Detective Gumshoe, please continue with your testimony. Yes, sir. The defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. Well, apparently he was. Should I present this now? Sure. Objection. Detective Gumshoe. Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes? Having you call me by my full name is kind of a weird feeling. You said that my client killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. Yeah, I did, didn't I? Then what, may I ask, is the bullet hole your police overlook's supposed to mean? What does it mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means that the victim had fired off a shot. Is that what it means to not fight back? We didn't change our plea to self-defense, though, Phoenix. You're right. It seems you are correct. If the victim had tried to shoot the defendant, then it would change everything. All right. The wind seems to be shifting. Ha! What is with that "are you finished yet" laugh? Are you finished yet, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Well, Miss Von Karma. It seems that Maya Fey was shot at by the victim. However, that is only grounds enough to support justified self-defense. A plea of self-defense. Oh my god, I'm starting to lose it. However, that is only grounds enough to support a justified self-defense plea. That is correct. But I'm sure you remember, Your Honor, what the defense clearly said. They rejected justified self-defense and pleaded not guilty. That's right, I did. Now that you... Why, that's right! Which means... the defense has yet to prove anything at all. No. Well, yes, that's true. Furthermore, just the fact that there is a bullet hole in the costume is not enough to substantiate even a plea of justified self-defense. How so? Don't just stand there. Hurry up and tell the court what transpired that day. With the new information we acquired added in, of course. Huh? You mean by myself? You want me to put together the scenario all by myself? Yes, sir. Right away, sir. During the channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. Of course, the victim used the last of her strength to fight back, sir. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. The defendant then picked up on the opening, took the victim's gun, and ended it. This scenario you have put together does make sense. Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Wright, on the surface it does seem to make sense. However, I won't give up that easily. Please refrain from glaring at me like that, and don't use my vocal inflection like that. Now then, your cross-examination, please. What transpired? During the channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. Hold it. There is quite a difference in height between Dr. Gray and the defendant. Add in body strength, and it seems unlikely the defendant could have stabbed the victim. Now that you mention it, yeah, I guess. Objection. You think you can get away with such flimsy reasoning, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Maya Fey was in the middle of channeling, was she not? Huh? When channeling with the Karain channeling technique, the medium physically changes. With the nurse's build, the defendant could have easily been a match for the doctor. I don't believe it. She even studied up on the Karain channeling technique. Like I said before, I am perfect. What, about what you were talking about, I didn't quite get it. Never mind, let's continue with the testimony. Of course, the victim used the last of her strength to fight back, sir. So he was stabbed, but the stab wound didn't kill him. But if you think about the blood loss, he was probably hurt pretty bad. How badly hurt would you say he was? Actually, I went to give blood the other day, and afterward I felt a little lightheaded and dizzy. I guess the damage was maybe about 10 times the dizziness. Sorry. Okay, I want to go back, because I think I used the wrong... Oh, yeah. Victim used the last of his strength to fight back. I think I said her, for some reason. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. Where in the world did that pistol come from? From the gun store. It looks like the victim, Dr. Gray, had specially bought it for that day. But a handgun? He got it off the black market about 2 days before the murder. Why did Dr. Gray bring a gun? Was he taking precautions against something? The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. Hold it. So you're saying that the bullet hole in this costume was made then? Sorry, pal, but yeah, that's what I think. The two of them were already fighting when a shot was fired. Maya, I'm really glad you weren't hurt. She's nervous. The defendant then picked up on the opening and took the victim's gun and ended it. Hold it. Maya has never fired a gun before in her life. The victim had already taken off the safety. With the safety off, even an amateur like you can fire it, just by pulling the trigger. Even me? I wonder. Now, do you understand? Avon Karma's logic is perfect. His testimony certainly makes us look very bad, but there's gotta be a contradiction in there somewhere. And uncovering it is going to uncover the truth. I can feel it. During the channeling. Okay, so we're back to the beginning now. Let's look at the evidence here. Okay, murder weapon was Gray's. 2 shots fired. Bears Maya's and Gray's fingerprints. Why is her fingerprints on it? Because it's going to turn out that she didn't touch it. Well, fruit knife belongs to the face. Okay, press. Okay, what other evidence do we have? Stabbed in the chest and shot at point blank. Around the bullet hole. I don't know. Of course, the victim used the last for strength to fight back. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. Then picked up the opening and took the victim's gun and ended it. Huh. What am I missing? Stabbed in the chest and shot at point blank. Gunpowder residue around the bullet hole. Murder weapon was Gray's. 2 shots fired. Bears Maya's. During the channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, sir. What am I missing? Should I try pressing all over again? Nope, wrong button. Hold it. Not. Okay, there weren't any new statements. Hold it. Then Stefan didn't kill. But if you think about the blood loss, he was probably hurt pretty bad. Okay, I think I get it. I don't know. Shit. Evidence clearly reveals the contradiction in that statement, Your Honor. How exactly are the evidence and the statement just now related? They aren't, are they? Not at all. Mr. Wright, please think the facts over before making accusations. Shit. Don't think that won me any points with the judge. In fact, I think I just lost a few points. As the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, fighting the victim took out his gun. Wait a second. Victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. Then picked up on the opening, took the victim's gun, and ended it. How did... What do I do? Okay. Stabbed in the chest, then shot at point blank. Gunpowder residue. Diagram of the... There's nothing there to look at. Looks like a bullet hole. Visual center. Okay. Fey Manor. I don't get it. Ended it. Okay, let's try pressing again to see. Okay, we just did that one. Hold it. Damn it. So you're saying that the bullet hole in this costume was made then? Sorry, pal, but yeah, that's what I think. The two of them were already fighting when the shot was fired. Maya, I'm really glad you weren't hurt. Then picked up on the opening. Okay, so that little, like, nervous twitch of hers kind of signifies that this might be it. Took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. I don't think so. Oh, okay, whatever. Missing the tiny hole on this costume will be the prosecution's undoing. What do you mean? This little hole has actually created a huge hole in your testimony. It has. But shooting through the sleeve is still missing. You said the two of them were fighting when the victim fired his gun at point-blank range. If that were true, then... where is the gunpowder burn on this costume? Okay. Gunpowder burn. This is what you testified to earlier. When something is shot from point-blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Oh, that's right. But there is not a single trace of a gunpowder burn on this costume. Clack. That is a very good point. And what exactly does this mean? It means that when the shot was fired, they were standing apart from each other. And the cat is here making a lot of noise. What do you want? Settle down. Lay down. Come on. Sorry about that. You're going to hear her in the background. Objection. I'm disappointed, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You think you can punch a hole in my logic with that? What wishy-washy thinking like that? Anyone can explain anything away. Then I implore you to disprove my line of thinking. Let's see. In the middle of their fight, the victim pushed the defendant away. And it was then, when they were separated, that he fired. How was that? Objection. As if that was even possible. According to testimony, the wound from the stabbing was very severe. The victim would not have had the strength to push the defendant very far after that. Ugh. Well, then... That's right, the defendant must have pushed the victim away. After stabbing him, she must have put some space between the doctor and herself. And then, while she was preparing to strike again, the doctor took his shot. There, that's it That should satisfy even you. That does make an awful lot of sense. What do you think, Mr. Wright? I must be careful. I can't afford to make a mistake here. Concentrate and think. Concentrate. Something doesn't make sense. I just don't know what. There is a fatal flaw in her argument, Your Honor. Fatal? Flaw? Oh! Very interesting. I would love to see where this flaw is. Show me something that contradicts my explanation. There has to be a snag in her explanation somewhere. She put some distance between them before rushing to make the final blow. When she was about to strike, the doctor took his shot. There must be a piece of evidence that contradicts this line of thinking. Hell if I know. I don't know. Because I'm just... It's not the pear knife, because this is after the stabbing, right? Wait, I'm totally confused. Well, we're talking about distance, and the blood splatter would suggest she was really close, so... Take that? Take a look at this. Shit. Why are you showing this to me, pal? Prosecutor Von Karma's explanation and this piece of evidence do not contradict. Huh? Haha. Looks like you need to use your brain a little more, pal. Ugh. Being lectured by Gumshoe of all people is so embarrassing. Come on, hurry up and get that thinking cap on. There has to be a snag in her explanation somewhere. She put some distance between them before rushing to make the final blow. And when she was about to strike, the doctor... took his shot. When she was about to strike. But... I don't know. Could it be? Take that. Oh, God damn. This is the piece of evidence that destroys your logic. What is that? A folding screen? I would like to point the court's attention to the hole in this folding screen. Ah! It looks like you already know what I'm talking about. Who? Where? What? Mr. Wright, your explanation, please. Are these two really that clueless? The bullet hole went through the defendant's sleeve first, then the folding screen. It passed through at a height of approximately 8 inches off the ground, which means... when the shot was fired, the defendant, was not getting ready to strike, but was actually squatting low to the ground. Okay. Clack. Order, order! This changes everything. Please look at this diagram of the crime scene. The victim, Dr. Gray, was here when he fired the shot. And the bullet hit this folding screen here. It hit at this location about 8 inches off the ground. At this time, the defendant was in this area. Well, obviously it would be right here, right? I guess? Take that? Somewhere around here. Damn it! What am I missing? Judge's face is scrunched like he just smelled some serious bad breath. That is, I mean... Wait, I just realized I forgot to brush this morning. Excuse me while I freshen up. Sure. In the meantime, I want you to think things through again, Mr. Wright. Ah, of course. Oops. What's done is done. For now, I should focus on where Maya was at the time of the crime. At this time, the defendant was in this area. Well, what are you asking? Like, was she on top of him? Are you saying she was over here? This is a lot more, obtuse than the first game. What are you asking? And I got the cat over here. What do you want? She was standing here near the foldings. Okay. Wait a second. We know the defendant was close to the ground based on the height of... We know the defendant was close to the ground based on the height of the bullet hole. But how can you gauge the distance from that? Isn't it possible that the defendant was standing much closer to the victim? That's impossible. But why? You of all people should know the answer to that question, Miss Von Karma. If she were shot from somewhere closer, there would be gunpowder burns present. However, there is nothing of the sort around the bullet hole in this costume. Ah! Curse you, Mr. Phoenix Wright, you... I believe it has now been proven that the defendant was standing a ways from the victim when she was shot at. But do you think that this has changed the defendant's situation? It changes everything. Honestly, Your Honor, this changes everything. The prosecution has claimed that the defendant was aiming to kill by stabbing. If that were true, delivering the final strike with the knife would be ideal. However, where and what was the defendant doing at the time? Squatting all the way by the folding screen. Exactly. If Maya Fey was the real murderer, why would she be by the folding screen instead of preparing to strike? Upon further consideration, it does make very little sense. Yeah, I figured there'd had to be a reason. Figuring things out and proving the logic behind everything is your job. Oof. All right. With this, the rest of this trial should be in the... Uh-oh. Blast radius of disaster. You are such a smart man, Mr. Phoenix Wright. To think that you've been able to take a completely hopeless case to this point. Now I know why Papa had a tough time with you. You amuse me. Ugh. Of all the things to inherit, why did she have to be that smart? Why did she have to be that smarmy smart? What? Of all the things to inherit, why did it have to be that smarmy smile? See, when it gets late, I start losing the ability to read. Detective, how dare you damage my perfect logic? Huh? How is it all my fault? You can start repairing your standing by first removing that 3-strand goatee. Oh, and rest assured your punishment will come later. Punishment? Well then, Your Honor, I think I've had all I can take of this detective's face. I think it's time to call in the next witness. Next witness? That's gotta be Lana. Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. After we reconvene, We will hear from the next witness. Clack. To be continued. All right. So we'll take a little break, and then I'll do something with the cat here. And hopefully she'll settle down, and I can come back and finish this off. But don't you go nowhere. I'll be right back.